Get your rain boots ready. It is almost time for the 65th annual Dollar Bank Three Rivers Arts Festival. For 10 days, the Cultural District downtown, and this year, the Rachel Carson Bridge, will be flooded with hundreds of artists, plus tons of food and beverages. It is our city's biggest, longest art party of the year and includes free performances. This year's headliners are Ben Folds, Lost Lonely Boys, Doom Flamingo, Martha Redbone, our local symphony, and so many more. It's all going down May 31st through June 9th, noon to 9 p.m. every single day. Find all the details and a map at trustarts.org/TRAF. Today on CityCast Pittsburgh. So many of our city's 90 recognized neighborhoods have an identifiable theme. Bloomfield has its Italian heritage. The Strip is for yummy snacks and great merchandise. And Polish Hill is delightfully punk. But Allentown, that strip along East Warrington, until recently had sort of seen better days. But then came the goth kids, the misfits, the metalheads. They are all grown up and looking for a place to make their own. Today, we're checking out these offbeat businesses and why they say the Hilltop has been the perfect place to set up shop. It's Monday, May 20th. I'm Megan Harris, and here's what Pittsburgh's talking about.
My name is Kelly Braden, and I own the Weeping Glass, and we are an oddities and curiosities shop nestled in the heart of Allentown that offers everything from Victorian funerary to quack medicinal history and antiques. And I also own Grim Wizard Coffee, which is a heavy metal pinball coffee shop right up around the corner on Arlington Avenue.
My name is Zach Belanti. I own Death Comes Lifting. We are fitness for the misfits, a.k.a. Pittsburgh's Goth Gym, where you can get heavy metal, rock and roll, Sabbath Sunday yoga classes, fitness training programs, martial arts classes, and we are decked out full of cool art and merch and good music and movies and a good time.
I have heard so much talk about Allentown being super goth over the last few years. How do y'all actually classify the vibe, the businesses? What language feels right for you?
I would say we're more of a place for the offbeat folks and the misfits than anything else.
Yeah.
We're a subculture mecca.
Goth feels a little too specific for me. But I go with rebel, misfit, outlaw, stuff like that.
Okay. Set the scene for me. Like, what do people see? What do you imagine people are seeing when they walk through Allentown? What do you think catches people's eye?
Well, I definitely think we stand out.
Yeah, I find that we invoke a lot of curiosity when people come up to the neighborhood because, we're not all, not every business up here is some kind of, weird offbeat artist business. We have normie businesses as well that are wonderful people and thriving as well. But it is a lot of fun when I sit up at the register and look out the window and you see the look on people's face that might have just come up to visit the pharmacy or Alla Famiglia. You can hear them all. You can watch their little mouths mouth. What's that? So I think that there's a lot of that. And we as Weeping Glass are a tourist attraction. And so we're on a couple of state and city lists for odd and interesting things to do while you're visiting Pittsburgh. And a lot of the times people come up to visit and I will tell them about the other things in the neighborhood and it immediately invokes curiosity and they end up wandering around and checking out all the other cool and interesting things there are to do up here.
And I want to talk about how y'all each kind of found this space because it is your community now. But it's been many things, Allentown and its history. Kelly, you took over Black Forge for all my Yinzers listening who maybe remember the business before the business. Now it's Grim Wizard Coffee. And now you've opened Weeping Glass. What led you to stick around Allentown and build up these alternative spaces?
I had actually had a shop that was a pop-up shop with Most Wanted Fine Art, had been traveling around to different areas and filling empty storefronts until they got rented so that there weren't empty storefronts. And when that project ended, I really missed the business and was looking for a home to put it where I could keep it there. And at the time, Black Forge was up here in Allentown. I live about 5 minutes away, and I'd come up for coffee and we'd become friends through them. And I'd talk to them about it. And they were like, Allentown is a super affordable place to put down a business. And the Hilltop Alliance, small business district leaders are extremely helpful with grants and funding. The people that were at Hilltop Alliance and now the new generation of people at Hilltop Alliance, because it's been 9 years since, were extremely welcoming. And when you have a weird offbeat business like that, you go before neighborhood committees, you talk to people about loans, and like everybody looks at you like you're absolutely insane.
I mean, if you want to be a small business owner, you have to be a little bit insane, just a little.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And don't put death in your name. If there's anything I could give advice to, that'd be probably the number one.
Yeah. So, you tend to go to a neighborhood alliance with like something like, I'm going to open a shop that has antique human anatomy, antique medical, funerary, folklore, horror.
And they're like, what could go wrong? Right?
Yeah, and Hilltop Alliance was basically just, that's exactly what they said. They're like, yeah, what could go wrong? So they welcomed me with open arms, and they offered the resources that someone like me would need with not a lot of startup capital, as far as like renovation programs and helping me get signs. There's sign grants, because signs are very expensive. And that was my pitch to Zach, when he was talking about putting a gym up here. I'm like, listen, like the Neighborhood Alliance up here is really fostering young business owners. And they now see that, this was a sea of empty storefronts, and now it's full of colorful, interesting, curious businesses. And so they're more welcoming of it than ever, because it's actually, it's reawakening the business district up here.
Yeah. Zach, what about you? Did you know you wanted to be a gym owner? Because that's kind of a calling.
I always joke, like, if you would have, how they vote for you in like high school in your yearbook, I would have been
superlatives.
Yeah, I would have been voted least likely to own a gym. So no. And I found myself in the fitness industry with this offbeat brand. And eventually it made sense to open a gym. And we've had a community around us that wanted that to happen. So I'm happy to be here and do that. But I just reached out to Kelly about it. We were already doing yoga classes at her coffee shop, Grim Wizard, and just had a small following up here. So it just really made sense. And she's right. The whole of the Hilltop Alliance and RE360 up here has just really helped us a lot and fostered our business and trying to help it grow.
Your crowd's here.
Yeah.
Your crew's here. Yeah, your fam's here. The fam's here.
Yeah, for sure.
There's room at the table. Come on.
Absolutely.
It doesn't take as much convincing, I guess.
No,
it's really the communities up here. That's the coolest part, really. It's everybody.
You have a cool idea, we'll find you a space.
Yeah.
The show today is brought to you by an incredible local resource, AIDS-Free Pittsburgh, and their pledge to end the HIV/AIDS epidemic in Allegheny County by 2030. If that is a cause that is close to your heart, make sure you're around for their biggest event of the summer, the 6th annual Too Hot for July. It is a party, but it is also a chance to get confidential HIV and STI testing for free, plus info on the incredible preventative medicines we have now to keep yins happy, healthy, and feeling your most confident out on the town. So come on out to Allegheny Commons East Park on Thursday, May 30th. Yes, July is in the name, but the event is in May. Don't get confused. May 30th from 4 to 10 p.m. There will be DJ sets, a health fair and marketplace, a ballroom-inspired dance battle, cash bar, food trucks, and more. Plus, a performance by Tony Award winner Alex Newell, a.k.a. Unique from Glee. This is all thanks to True Tea Pittsburgh and so many folks doing the good work out here in the community. community. So do not miss out. Learn more at toohotforjuly.com.
Hey, it's Ryan Reynolds, and I'm here with Keith, co-star of my upcoming film, If, only in theaters May 17th. Do you want to tell people the big news? All right, I'll do it. Sign up now and you'll get unlimited for $15 a month and 6 months of Paramount Plus Essential Plan on us. MintMobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 equivalent to $15 per month. Unlimited over 40 gigabytes per month. Face lower speeds. Videos at 480p. Active Mint customers by 531.24 get 6 months of Paramount Plus Essential Plan. Auto renews after 6 months. Offer ends May 31st, 2024. Separate Paramount Plus registration required. Terms and conditions apply if rated PG.
Well, so tell me about your pride points, I guess. Maybe the intangibles that just make you want to be there. What makes you proud to be part of the Allentown neighborhood?
It's an eclectic neighborhood to begin with. You see all kinds of people walking around this neighborhood. It's just open to everybody, and everybody knows everybody else. And it's always the same people walking up and down the street and waiting for the bus and patronizing the businesses. And so it's such a small stretch of Pittsburgh that you just kind of get to know your neighbors, and it's nice to be able to sit outside in the summer and just talk to people and know all the people that are walking by,
Yeah.
So the neighbors, as weird as we are, and as maybe as off-putting as it might be for people to walk into a business with a skull on it or whatever, it's really been a warm reception, and everybody up here has been so cool and still makes the effort to come in and say hello and get to know us by name.
Yeah.
And
I couldn't agree more. We're pretty new here. We've been open about 3 months. And something I was worried about a little bit was the response to the locals, because I knew the response would be positive from our followers already.
Mm-hmm.
But we have more local members than we do non-local members. People just want to come in and hang out. They're excited that they have a gym and a healthy spot to go in this community.
Zach, I gotta say, I took a spin around your website and your workout titles are unhinged. Victim Chaser, Jacked in Space, the Flexus Gainsaw Massacre. But your price could not be better. $55 a month is gotta be one of the cheapest I've seen for a local spot with classes in the Pittsburgh area in a very long time.
Well, that's good to know. Thank you. That's very much on purpose. I hope it doesn't appear like I'm just trying to cash in on some idea or something.
No, the reverse. It makes it feel like you legitimately are trying to make an accessible place for a neighborhood like Allentown.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's really the heart and soul. That's the mission at the end of the day,
Yeah.
Yeah. And I like hearing people come in because these buildings have all been here, and a lot of the people that hang out here and are walking up and down the street have lived here their entire lives. So it's really cool to have people come in and tell you what used to be here. And apparently this was a poultry shop at one point, and it was an insurance building too. But people in their 70s and 80s will stop in and tell you stories about what used to be here. And then they'll talk about the decline of Allentown. And then they'll talk about how nice it is to see storefronts back.
Mm-hmm.
So that's been cool too.
That was super cool.
Yeah. What do you think is maybe the most memorable interaction you've had, say, with a customer or someone maybe passing by on the street? Kelly, you mentioned some of those raised eyebrows you get. Are there any noteworthy ones?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
When we first moved up here, I had a gentleman come in and he said, "Why do you guys want to be dead?" And I said, "What do you mean?" And he said, "Is this a devil store?" And I said, "Do you see a devil in here?" And he said, "No." He said, "But you have all these skeletons." And I said, "Well, you, sir, have a skeleton also."
Nice. That's a good one. I'm going to take that.
He stood in the door and he kind of
looked around. He shook his head in agreement and left. I would think that was the last I've ever saw that gentleman. Yeah. So that was I had when we were opening and weren't quite open yet, I had a lady that was slipping Bible tracts under our door for a while.
Oh yeah, I had her too. I invited Yeah, I get things like that too, and that's fun and great. Really, it's the little stuff that I love, and I won't name drop him, but we have this kid that's a member. He's 20, and before he left one day, we joke around and stuff, and he kind of turned to me and was like, man, I would have never made it into a gym. I've never tried to get myself healthy if it wasn't for you. So thank you. Thanks for being here. that stuff like that can get me through an entire month, really.
Yeah, I mean, and what does that mean to y'all to kind of, step back and know that you're not just providing, and, in your case, Zach, like a healthy space for folks, but also like exposing them, the neighborhood, but also your clientele to something that they just like would not otherwise get. There's just not a lot of opportunity for exactly what y'all do anywhere else in the city.
My favorite is when teenagers come in with their parents, and their parents are very clearly uncomfortable and doing this just for them. But they come in and they were like, it's like their Mecca. It's like they finally found a place that understands. They're that weird kid that like can't wait for art class or like whatever, gets them out of bullying for not being understood why they like those things, or their hair is blue, or, and they come in and they see me as an adult running something like that, and people in there that are like-minded. It's the same with Grim Wizard, you walk in and you're like, wow, this is actually a safe space where anybody can come in here and not be uncomfortable.
Right. And especially what we do in a physical setting, that's something even, adults struggle with, feeling comfortable in gyms and comfortable in places with throw your bodies into it. That's a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
And to be able, an extension of that just in another way, and just to kind of carry that torch and that spirit, it's like being at a rock and roll show full of a bunch of your friends, but just in a different environment. That's
right. One of my friends joined your gym actually, and she had texted me and said that was because she had texted me ahead of time to get the scoop because she felt really uncomfortable in gyms. And she texted me afterwards and was like, that was the most comfortable I have ever been in a gym setting. Thank you so much for the recommendation.
It's really cool.
So just so you know.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Proves that it's working, Yeah. And that's what we want. Just because I was that kid, I was that person, and I'm sure Kelly was as well.
Sure was.
So we're filling that need, and for us, and just leading by example. So that's it's very important.
Well, I guess while we've got you dreaming, is there anything else you would like to see on the street at some point, over the next few months, maybe next few years, maybe something else that you think the neighborhood needs?
Well, I mean, they're working on, getting some summer festivals and things for people of all ages to do, and getting some live musicians, and just kind of like reawakening a lot of our spaces. And like a lot of the abandoned lots have undergone, like we use the night market funds, for example, to put in like a cement patio in the one abandoned lot and build like a little stage so that during the summer, like a lot of our restaurants are not sit down restaurants. They're like pickup restaurants. But they put tables out there. And like I worked on a mural outside of the old Weeping Glass shop to decorate that space so that people have somewhere to go and eat up there, but more activating of a lot of the dead space that was just up here from buildings that had been torn down, and it was just weeds. Recently, Most Wanted Fine Art just put a giant sculpture. Jason Sauer just put a big sculpture in the empty lot next to Dollar Bank, and you see murals from different artists popping up, all the time. And so it's really just gone from a lot of empty storefronts and overgrown lots to some absolutely beautiful things happening, activated by artists. And that's always nice to see.
Well, we're grateful for your work and for your advocacy. Kelly Braden and Zach Belanti, thank y'all so much for being great ambassadors of the neighborhood, but also great entrepreneurs in Pittsburgh.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for wanting to talk to us and caring and being interested. It means a lot.
I cannot wait to try one of your classes, Zach. It's going to be fun.
Let's go. It's going to be sweet.
That's all for today here on CityCast Pittsburgh. If you are liking the show, please let us know what it is you like most and drop it in a review on Apple Podcasts. It is so helpful to see that people actually endorse what we're doing over here, and it keeps our bosses happy. Please take just a few minutes to do it, or if it's all you got, those 2 seconds just to leave us 5 stars. It really is that quick, and it helps us so much. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more news from around the city. Talk to you soon.
We'll make you blood protein shakes in the back.
Yeah.
Don't tell the health department that, Zach.
Keep the man out of it around here.